Well, hello everybody. Welcome to my first solo Xbox 360 Let's Play. Before we get into this, I do have a little bit of describing that I'm going to do. There is a intro video that I do want to show, so I'm going to open up this screen so it doesn't start up. Anyway, I'm going to start a series which is called, again, Story of Urowen. Or the lives of Urowen, whichever it may be. I'm going to be playing a plethora of adventure RPG games, all under the guise of Urowen. It's going to be different reincarnations of Urowen, time changes and everything, but I'm going to kind of play them the same way, give or take, every time. You're going to kind of get used to him. His personality might change depending on the game, depending on, again, time period. But for the most part, I'm going to play this not entirely different from how I normally play these games, but still kind of so. So, without further ado, let's find out the first story of this spiritual being of Urowen in Dragon Age Origins, a action strategy RPG adventure bonanza by the makers of BioWare, who made Mass Effect, and also, what else did they make? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and then once again the Old Republic, the MMO. I love this company. BioWare's got to be probably one of my favorite companies to have played. A mix between their romances, their story decisions, their storylines. Here it is. I forgot about this intro. And that is where our adventure starts off. So, without further ado, let's start with a new game. The character creation process may take a little bit. I may cut it out of the video, or I might just speed it up. Or I might just have you sit through this, and this be the first episode, the introduction to Urowen. Some of the games in this series won't need this, some of them will. But we got storyline. And so is the Golden City blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. Canticle of Threnodies, 813.
The chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. For I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Now, how is that for an adventure hook line? Alright, so we know all about the Darkspawn, we know all about that now. Well, not all about it, but we know generally where we stand. So in Dragon Age Origins, the first of the series, you got a little bit better choices in your character creation. Again, you could be male or female. Urowen is male. This is where it differs. In Dragon Age 2, as we will see after this, you are not allowed. You are only a human. That's all you are. In Dragon Age 1, you can be a dwarf or you can be an elf. Now, we are going to be playing a human in this instance. We're going to be playing a rogue, and because of that, we only really get one background story. There are 6 background stories that you can play. There is one for the human, there is 2 for the elf, there is 1 for all mages, and then there are the 2 for the dwarf. Each background it's alright. I might go through and maybe I'll play the background story for everybody. I don't know. We'll see. If I get enough ideas for it, then that might be a cool idea. But for now, we're going to be a human noble. We're going to be kind of carefree. We're not evil, but we don't go out of our way to be good. We are very charismatic. We would rather talk our way out of problems than fight. And when it does come to fighting, we are not scared to use methods that others may deem as unfair. So with that, let's give our person a name. Hopefully, you got. I do believe Red Alert has gone up by now. If not, then you will notice it in Red Alert 3. But there was a kind of an audio problem between when the video audio would play and when you'd hear it, or when the video would play and the audio from the video would play, and you could tell that they weren't synced up. I think I have them synced up now. I think I figured out how to work it and the problem I had with it. Hopefully those settings don't change. We will see. Our name is Urowen Kuzland, and we will go on with this. Now, I'm not really going to focus too much on looks. I generally have a relative look that I go for. We are going to be slightly yellow. I do have a tattoo, I think, that I like. I do normally like that one, but we're noble. We can't really have face tattoos, so no. We're going to play this off. This is going to kind of be roleplay-ish, kind of not. This is the important part, the hair. We have to have good... oh yeah, we have to have actual done-up hair. Don't know if I want to have facial hair or not. Nothing gaudy, that's for sure. I'll just do sideburns. Okay. We're going to be black. Eyebrows are fine. Stubble. I don't want like super stubble. Actually, there we go. Look at that. The stubble color is fine. Alright, the eyes, the nose. I think everything else is fine. Portrait. This is the portrait that is in the bottom corner. That will signify our character. We don't really need to change too much. And voice. We are given 6 voice choices. Voice choices. That's a funny word to say.
I have lost concentration.
How do you do?
Right, casting. Focus.
They don't... I mean, their voices seem to change a lot.
I have lost concentration. Greetings. Well, that didn't work.
Greetings. I cannot cast it.
Oddly enough, that voice is in Dragon Age 2 as well. Bonus points if you can name whose voice that is.
It is unharmed.
I think. No, I'm wrong. Sorry. Don't answer that. I did believe that it was Fenris's voice. It might be. I might be off anyway, but...
Charmed, I'm sure. I lost the spell. I need something new.
Greetings.
Ah, my spell!
Well...
How do you do?
Right, casting. Focus. Not even a scratch.
Greetings. No, it is gone.
We'll do wise. And with that, we are ready to go on our adventure. Now we got points. I guess I can go through these pretty well. I am going to be using two weapons instead of ranged combat. This way, I'll be able to focus on poisons. Dexterity, strength measures character physical prowess, affects damage a character deals in physical combat, and melee. Dexterity is your agility, your reflexes, your balance. This is your accuracy and your dodging ability, basically. It also gives a little bit of damage dealt by piercing weapons, which are daggers, which we're going to use, and arrows. So we're going to focus a lot in dexterity, probably some into strength. Willpower gives us our mental fortitude, and also gives us more stamina. I'm not sure if I'll be using that much stamina. Magic, as you can imagine, is more for mages, but it also affects our healing potions. So, not something you always want to give off. Cunning. Cunning is just that, cunning. It's, what's a good... And guile, your ability to talk, your ability to reason, to fiddle. So that's another thing we're going to be putting points into heavily. And then finally, Constitution. This is your health. And, well, what more can I say about that? Health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to even these out. I hate having odd numbers. I've played Dungeons & Dragons for my entire life. Having odd numbers, it just bothers me. I am going to put this last point into cunning, I think. Now we only get 1 point, which is unfortunate. I'm probably going to put it into coercion. Kind of a quick rundown of the points. Coercion is the skill that is used to persuade people. The higher coercion you have, the easier it is to persuade them. Stealing. I've never really used stealing in this game, like, at all. Trap making, it's kind of self-explanatory. Not something I use. I'm not really much for a sneak, although I might be doing some sneaking in this one. I don't know. Survival is good. Eventually it'll give you nice nature resistances, but it also lets you know nearby creatures. Herbalism and poison making kind of go, I don't want to say hand in hand, but herbalism gives you your healing, poison making does your poisons. Combat training is what allows you to advance your tiers and your skills. I'm kind of hoping to go over all of this now, and I won't really go big into it later, but we never know. And finally, combat tactics gives you tactic slots for you to automate your people. This is something I will be focusing in a lot in the rest of my party members, simply because I like to have a lot of different options, especially with mages. This is, in my opinion, the most important skill for mages to have that aren't going to be directly controlled by the player, because they get such a high volume of spells that they're useful in just so many different situations. But for our first point, I am going to put it into coercion, because we're not going to need expertise just yet. We get dirty fighting, which is kind of why I made that premise about fighting dirty. There we go. We do have 2 points to spend. I do kind of want to put it into dual weapon training, because this is now we'll take our penalty for using 2 weapons. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know if I want to get this just yet, or if I want to wait. I'm basically going to be focusing in on these 4 right here. Now you see here in stealth, the first strike is an automatic crit hit or backstab. You know, that's a possible idea. Eventually, I'll be able to increase this to the point to where I can stealth during combat, and then, you know, be the master at it. But I don't know if I'm going to use it now. I kind of want to have deft hands because I do like picking locks. And these are the difficulties. I guarantee you that I won't be able to play it on hard. Chances are I might even struggle here on normal. But I am not going to wimp out and play casual. Party is immune to friendly fire, which I'm kind of iffy on myself, but we'll play normal. And we are ready to start. I mean, we are about 20 minutes into this video. In fact, I might stop the video short here as soon as this intro gets off. And that'd be my little intro video. And then next time, I don't know. I'm going to wait until it loads and everything, and I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to check the video, see how the sounds are, and well, with that, we'll be on.
For generations, your family, the Kuzlans, has stewarded the lands of Highever, earning the loyalty of your people with justice and temperance. When your country was occupied by the Orlesian Empire, your father and grandfather served the embattled kings of your land. Today, your elder brother takes up House Kuzlan's banner in service to the crown, not against the men of Orlais, but against the bestial darkspawn rising in the south.
I trust then that your troops will be here shortly.
I expect they will start arriving tonight, and we can march tomorrow. I apologize for the delay, my lord. This is entirely my fault.
No. The appearance of the Darkspawn in the south has us all scrambling, doesn't it? I only received the call from the king a few days ago myself. I'll send my eldest off with my men. You and I will ride tomorrow just like the old days.
True, but we both had less grey in our hair then, and we fought Orlesians, not monsters.
At least the smell will be the same. I'm sorry, Papa, I didn't see you there. How? You remember my son?
I see he's grown into a fine young man. Pleased to see you again, lad.
And with this, we are introduced into conversations. Now, in this one, choices are not vocalized, so I'm going to be reading what I'm saying. In Dragon Age 2, I will not have to worry about that, so let's see, what sounds... Well, we are nobility, even though we're a little cocky sometimes. We'll ask how he's doing.
My daughter Delilah asked after you. Perhaps I should bring her next time.
Ooh, baby. I think I'd like that.
Good. She's talked about you ever since she saw you at a fair in Denerim. I think you have an admirer, young man.
At any rate, Pup, I summoned you for a reason. While your brother and I are both away,
I'm gonna try to be a
I'm
ladies'
leaving
man
you
too.
in charge of the castle.
Yee. Is that? I mean, Mother will still be here, right? I mean, she is the. I mean, the. Well, I don't know what they would call the wife of the Earl.
This is no needless task. I ask you to take a great responsibility. Only a token force is remaining here, and you must keep peace in the region. You know what they say about mice when the cat is away, yes? There's also someone you must meet. Please, show Duncan in.
It is an honor to be a guest within your hall, Tyrn Cousland.
Your lordship, you didn't mention that a Grey Warden would be present.
Duncan arrived just recently, unannounced. Is there a problem?
Of course not. But a guest of this stature demands certain protocol. I am at a disadvantage.
We rarely have the pleasure of seeing one in person, that's true. Pup, Brother Aldous taught you who the Grey Wardens are, I hope.
Now, we are going to assume that we know everything that was said in the preview about, you know, the history of the Grey Wardens and the Darkspawn and all that. So we are going to know who they are. So, we know that they defeated the Darkspawn long ago. That's history.
Not permanently, I fear.
Without their warning of the Darkspawn rising now, half the nation could have been overrun before we'd had a chance to react. Duncan is looking for recruits before joining us and his fellow wardens in the south. I believe he's got his eye on Sir Gilmore.
If I might be so bold, I would suggest that your son is also an excellent candidate.
Honor though that might be, this is one of my sons we're talking about.
Yeah, woo. You know, we don't really want to go off and fight if we don't have to. So I have no interest in becoming a Grey Warden.
Well, Duncan, he is not interested. So unless you intend to invoke the right of conscription...
Have no
The
fear.
right of conscription?
While we need as many good recruits as we can find, I've no intention of forcing the issue.
That will be explained later, I'm
Can you
sure.
ensure that Duncan's requests are seen to while I'm gone?
Of course.
In the meantime, find Fergus, and tell him to lead the troops to Ostagar ahead of me.
We'll be funny here. Are you trying to get rid of me?
We must discuss the battle plans in the south. Be a good lad and do as I've asked. We'll talk soon.
All right, Father. And I think I'm going to stop the video here. That kind of gives us a little bit of an intro of, you know, our story, where we're at right now, what we're, you know, our main quest is going to do. This will give me a chance to test everything. There wasn't really much gameplay at all. But, we got our characters. We got our first Urowen ever. We get a skill set up. We learned a little bit of history about the Grey Wardens and the Darkspawn. We learned a little bit on the current situation of the Darkspawn. And we also know that the Grey Wardens are now actively seeking members. So we'll see where that leads. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much for joining me on this adventure. Catch me next time as we actually get some running around done and start working on missions and such. Hopefully the sound will match up like it's supposed to. And long outros are long. So thank you guys so very much for watching. As always, I'm Urowen. Happy gaming, guys.